feels so good. Guys, I've been without my Superman hat for a week and I was starting to go through withdrawal, and now I finally have my Superman hat back. So I'm excited about it, and I'm reunited and it feels so good. I wanted to take this time out to talk a little bit about the future of the DCEU, in particular the upcoming slate of the DCEU that was announced at Comic-Con. It's been about a week since Comic-Con. I've had time for my mind to melt and then reconstruct itself and then melt once again. If you say that your mind didn't melt during Comic-Con at any point during either the DC or the Marvel stuff, then you're just lying to yourself at this point. Either way, I've had time to process, I've had time to think, and here's what I think about the upcoming schedule. First, let's start off with what we know. I know for a fact that they announced a whole host of films at Comic-Con, including Suicide Squad sequel, Wonder Woman sequel, the Green Lantern Corps, a Flashpoint movie, also Shazam, also Batgirl, also The Batman, also Justice League Dark. I mean, they announced a whole host of films at Comic-Con, and I'm excited for every damn one of them. Some of them more than others. So what we know at this point is that Shazam and Wonder Woman are most likely going to go into production in 2018. We've already heard confirmation from multiple people that Shazam, which already has a director, is going to be directed by David F. Sandberg, who is, I think, the guy who directed Lights Out last year. He's going to be directing the Shazam movie, and they already announced that that's going to be starting production in 2018. I would assume that sometime here in the next month or two, we're going to be getting some casting news about Shazam or about Billy Batson. Like, I would just assume that that's a thing. You can assume that Wonder Woman, which already has a release date in 2019, you would assume that that's going to be starting production sometime in 2018 as well. It's coming out December 13th, 2019. So those are the two things that we know for sure. Now here comes the speculation part of being a fan. This is my favorite part of being a fan, is where you just speculate and you're probably wrong about most of it, but you don't care because you're just excited to talk about it. So the Batman, which already has a director, Matt Reeves, I think they're going back to working on the script. I think they said that Matt Reeves wants to redo the whole script or whatever. There is a distinct possibility that Matt Reeves' Batman movie will start production next year in 2018. And if that's the case, we could be looking at a crazy ass 2019. As of right now, we know for sure that Aquaman is the only DC film that's coming out in 2018. It was supposed to be Flash, but Barry fucked the timeline and they couldn't get their shit together with the director. So Aquaman is what we have to look forward to in December of next year. It sucks that after Justice League comes out in November, it's going to be like a whole 13 months before I see that glorious DC logo up at the front of the movie theater when the movie turns on. It's gonna bum me out, it's gonna depress me. I might pick up drinking in the next year, who knows? Either way, Jason Momoa makes me think that Aquaman will be worth the wait. He was badass in the Justice League Comic-Con trailer. He's a badass in real life. He's an awesome guy in real life. So I'm just gonna assume that Jason Momoa is going to rest in peace all of those Aquaman fish boy jokes, not only in Justice League, but also in his movie coming out in 2018. 2019 looks like it could be packed if we go off of what we already know, which is Shazam and Wonder Woman starting production, and then the possibility that the Batman could be starting production in 2018 as well. We could be looking at 2019, we could be looking at Shazam, the Batman, and Wonder Woman all coming out in the same year. That is awesome. This is where the speculative part of my fanhood starts to go into things that I want as opposed to things that I actually think will happen. People are asking because Superman has been missing from most of the promotional material for Justice League because, you know, he's dead. I feel like Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, could explain this to you a little bit better than I could.
My question is, where is Superman gonna be in this movie?
And I'm not sure if your parents showed you the last movie, but Superman's dead.
Oh, wow. That is
Superman is dead, so there hasn't been a lot of promotion for Superman, and it's caused some people to wonder, like, where's the Superman sequel? Like, we've heard all these other movies are coming out. Where's the Superman sequel? Why haven't they announced a sequel to Man of Steel? What the hell are they freezing Superman out? I think there's a couple of reasons why Warner Brothers is not going ahead and announcing the Man of Steel sequel news. Number one is he's dead, and they're treating him like he's dead, and they don't want to step on or undermine his return, his glorious return in Justice League by announcing, hey, well, here's the sequel, and here's all the news for the sequel beforehand. They want that to be a special moment for the fans, in particular the Superman fans. They didn't really talk about Superman much at Comic-Con. I do remember Gal saying that if you're a Superman fan, you're most likely going to enjoy Justice League. And that's true. I want his return to be epic. I want it to be glorious. I want it to be like a special moment, an iconic moment burned into my forehead, into my lobes, and all my brain parts up here. And so I think that's why Warner Brothers hasn't officially announced anything in regards to the Man of Steel sequel, even though we know that it's in development. Another part of the reason is they don't have a director director, they don't have a script yet, so it kind of would be foolish to announce it. And I know what you're thinking, well, they don't have a script for Suicide Squad 2, they don't have a director for that. True, but I don't think in Suicide Squad those characters are at risk of, being dead and then having to frame their entire return around one movie like Justice League. We've heard a lot of smoke and fire regarding Matthew Vaughn. He looks like he could be the guy that directs the next Superman movie. You can tell he's interested. I think that after Justice League, we're going to be hearing an announcement on Superman soon, and I think we're going to be hearing an announcement about the Man of Steel sequel, directing, the script, all that. I think that all that information, I think they're just holding off until after Justice League, and they want to see how Justice League performs before we get news about a Superman sequel. Leads to my fanhood. I want 2019 to be the year of the Trinity. I want Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman to each have their own individual movies in 2019. Can you imagine how freaking lit that's gonna be? That year is made of dreams. Dreams I love to eventually see. Unfortunately, because of the aforementioned director and writer news, I don't think we're actually going to get Man of Steel 2 in 2019. It's a pipe dream. It's possible if they quickly get a director and a script going and if they somehow start shooting next year. But either way, I'm kind of expecting Man of Steel to be pushed until 2020. I also expect that to be the year where Suicide Squad 2 comes out. It is possible, however, that we could see Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman all together on the screen in 2019 anyways, because you got the Batman movie, you could have the Wonder Woman movie, and then you could have Superman show up in the Shazam movie. It makes a lot of sense for Superman to show up in the Shazam movie anyway. Shazam is basically like a grown kid version of Superman, and you got this kid who gets magical powers and he gets to turn into Superman. He idolizes Superman, and Superman at this point in the DCEU has been through the highs and the lows of life. He's lived, he's fallen in love, he's died. He's pretty much lived the American dream right there, the worldwide humanitarian dream. And so it seems like he could have a lot to offer this guy in terms of experience. Kind of a pipe dream that we get Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in 2019, but it's what I want. Either way, I'm expecting Man of Steel 2 to come out in 2020, along with Suicide Squad 2, and the Batgirl movie. The Batgirl movie, which is also going to be directed by Joss Whedon, that movie I think is going to get pushed to 2020 as well. There's a chance they could squeeze it into 2019. I just kind of doubt it at this point. Guys, what are your most anticipated upcoming DC films? Let me know down below. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.